Ecom Business School, EBS. I took it. I'm going to give you my impressions of my first 90 days, my thoughts, and my recommendations for you if you're thinking about going through EBS. Now, if you're like me and you've been trying to find out more about this e-commerce world, you did some research on EBS and you came across this image of their 3 pillars of e-commerce success. Now, this is to indicate the path of how your experience through EBS is to unfold. First, as you can see on the left, you have a pipeline which allows you to start generating income by quote unquote trickling in some money. Next, you set up a system where you hire a staff. This can be a staff of virtual assistants. You can bring in your family members, friends, and then if you're lucky enough and your business grows, you could pass it down to your family or sell it to investors for a profit. It's all up to you. I'd like to run down the psychology of the thought process of why I made the decision to go with EBS. You hear a lot of people say, I want a job, I don't want to have to pay money for a job. And although that's understandable, that's the trap that keeps people stuck in mediocre positions. In order to rise up and promote yourself into a higher paying job, unless you have access to a corporate position, it's better to invest. And I have no problem investing money to learn a trade. So I'm willing to pay good money as long as there's a payback. And that money you put into it, not only is it an investment, it's a gamble. So you have to understand that, and I do understand that. So even though I'm in a financial emergency, I made the decision, I thought it through, I watched many of the videos, and I went down my own checklist. It's not a hokey YouTuber yelling at the screen, promising to make thousands of dollars in one day. It looked legitimate to me. So I did reach out to EBS through their website, contacted them, and I set up an appointment for a Zoom call. You get a Zoom call from a closer. The closer's main job is to close you in the program, which is fine. I get it. They need a closer because you're making an investment of at least $1,000. For those of you who are thinking, you don't need a course, just watch YouTube videos. Well, good luck with that. In 2017, years before I came across EBS, I went to a cattle call type of meeting where they put an ad for finding out more about FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon. It was in a hotel bar room, 100 people or so show up. You had somebody standing in the front going through a dog and pony show. I didn't trust that atmosphere. It was a bit scammy, so I avoided that one. However, they also charged $997. So instead, since that time, I did try to just watch a variety of YouTube videos on FBA, but nothing ever materialized from those individual videos. By the time I get to the homepage of their website, just as I would do with any venture I'm looking into, I'll first head over to Ripoff Report and do some Google searches. Search the name and type scam or reviews just to see if anything comes up. Did not see anything on Ripoff Report and no negative reviews online. Here's a cleaned up version of the notes I took during my initial 60-minute Kickstart strategy session with the EBS advisor I spoke with on April 5th. As you can see, the cost of entry, you have different models you can choose to pay. Each model represents a different level of what you're going to get. It starts off at $6,800, or you can pay $2,800 for 2 payments, or you can buy in at $1,497. This is with no automation pieces included. You'd have to do that yourself. There are no prep or ship centers included. And you have the option to upgrade with Accelerator. So if you buy in low, you have the option to upgrade your payment. I chose the $997 program. That is a coaching session for one time a week, not with Ann Sieg, who is the CEO of Ecom Business School. So I first came across their videos in about March of 2023, did a month of researching, looking at their videos, and made a decision to contact them. And when I contacted them, I set up an appointment with one of their associates who calls you to set up an appointment to talk you through it. Now, this person is to close you. He or she will be the closer. And this is a summary of our conversation after we first spoke. And I'll go through the first paragraph. What I picked up from our first meeting on the 5th of April was that the $997 would get me 1 week plus a mastermind, which is no Ann, which is Ann Sieg, by the way. And of course, your quote that sold me into going forward: you start making money within your first 30 days, unquote. Now, mind you, the amount of just how much. Like I said, it's not like I have $1,000 for this readily available. So it took me some time to come up with the money. But once I did, I followed through on my part and I paid. On May 15th, I became an official member of Ecom Business School. And of course, as soon as you sign and pay, you get a letter from Ann Sieg congratulating you. And within the letter, as it shows in highlight, when our students use these strategies, they've seen sales in record time, and they've used their profits to pay off debt, buy new cars, put their kids through college, even help them buy new homes. We're confident that you can hit your financial goals too. Great. If you've seen my other reviews, you'll know that I appreciate any course that also has a community, at least a Facebook community, And EBS does have a Facebook page. So that's another point that I was able to check off on the list. As you start the course, you go through the usual process of getting set up in your Amazon account, your Amazon seller account. I kept the log of my impressions in real time as I went through this experience, wrote down what I thought were the pros and cons, and these are the results that I'll share with you. I submitted my application for a selling account on Amazon on June 1st. And as you can see, on Tuesday, June 6th, 2023, I received this email. Dear seller, thanks for creating a selling on Amazon account. We have completed verifying your identity. As next steps, please log into your Seller Central account to activate your account and check if any further action is needed. Thank you for choosing to sell on Amazon, and we're here to help you succeed every step of the way. That's on June 6th. So once again, let's recap. I joined EBS on May 15th, started using the course, and on June 1st, I got to the point where you submitted your application. And mind you, I'm doing this course as I'm working a full-time job. So on June 1st, I submitted the application, and it took me about a week, 6 days. Everyone is different. Not everyone gets accepted the first time. It took me about 6 days. It can take 2 days for some people. It could take 2 weeks for some people. It could take a month. Some people get rejected. So based on your application, how accurate it is, whether or not you send in everything that they're looking for, will determine how fast you're accepted. In addition to the initial Zoom call, you have another Zoom call, which is a welcome call. This is supposed to be on Zoom. Mine was not on Zoom. When I had my welcome call, the person had something going on at that time, so she wasn't able to do it on Zoom, but we did have a phone call. And after the phone call, she sent me this checklist. Local shopping profit system is the level of EBS I bought into for $997. What that means is you're buying items in stores around you. So you're buying the physical items at stores, such as a Target or a Dollar Tree or a dollar store. Any store, even a Walmart, no matter where you find the item that you want to sell, you'll find those items at stores, buy them, and then bring them back to flip them on Amazon for fulfillment by Amazon. So that's your local shopping profit system. You're shopping in the local stores. And this is the checklist that she sent me after the phone call. So the first one, as you can see, was checked off on June 6th after I was approved for my Amazon selling account. When you have that initial call, you're given quite a bit of information about the different levels of EBS. And after some time had passed, I was a little confused, so I wanted to confirm exactly what it is that I got for what I paid for. So I posted this question on the Facebook group, and as you can see, it is, do we get free one-on-one coaching sessions in our first 90 days? If so, how many? Thanks. And this was sent after June 1st. So this is after I've been accepted to Amazon and I'm going through the course, but nothing is happening. So I want to pick it up a bit by this time. So about 15, 20 days has passed at this point. Anne Sieg herself responds and says, "Hi, Edris Alexis. Yes, if you are an e-commerce acceleration member, you are entitled to 3 one-on-one coaching sessions. To be clear, that is part of the membership that you paid for. Please email support for further assistance." So, let me explain this. Again, I did not pay for the e-commerce acceleration. I paid for the local profit shopping system, the lowest level available. She may have thought that I had paid for the acceleration course sheet. She's at the top, so she's not on top of what everyone has bought into, because there are many, many people in EBS. So my question was a general question about a free one-on-one coaching session. I did not mention in my question that I was part of the local shopping profit system. This course takes a deep dive into the world of Amazon arbitrage, which is good. That's what you want. You want to find out as much as you can. On June 28th, I got to the part where they advised that you go to a store and scan about 50 items. So for my first scan, I went to the Dollar Tree where everything is $1 and just started scanning. This is a Madagascar giraffe toy that I saw. Went on to pet food. This is like a sponge or a cleaner, quick eraser. As you can see on the right, that is the view of the screen of a tool that you will use to help guide you and tell you whether or not something is profitable and whether or not you're allowed to buy it. So if you see that lock on the right hand side under the word quick eraser, you're going to get very accustomed to seeing that image and those words requires approval. What that means is once you're approved for selling on Amazon, that doesn't mean that you're automatically allowed to sell everything that you want to sell on Amazon. There's a gate, which people call gatekeeping. Amazon approves sellers to sell on Amazon. Reason being, they don't want they want to deter counterfeiters from just selling anything on Amazon. So they're going to make you prove yourself as a seller that you are serious about selling on Amazon before they approve you. And the only way you're going to get approved is by ranking up a vague, completely unknown number of products. So you want to keep that in mind. Just because you paid the money to buy into EBS, just because you've been approved to sell on Amazon, does not even mean that you can even sell anything on Amazon as a seller. Here's another cleaning supply. These are Band-Aids. And if you can see towards the middle, there's that image again. And those words, requires approval. So I wasn't even approved to sell these cheap Band-Aids. Finally, the green light. What is it? A pill organizer. I was able to sell a pill organizer. Now, let's talk about this pill organizer and the fact that I was finally approved to sell something on Amazon. Now you find out that just because you're approved to sell something on Amazon, that doesn't mean that you're going to profit from that item on Amazon. There are situations where a profit or a product is so cheap that you're not going to make any money. So here's a quick rundown of some of the things I scanned. Not everything, but just an idea. And I'll go into the numbers a little bit later. Here's an example of something that was approved for me to sell. It is a keyboard. And on the right hand side, you can see the $5.42 in green numbers as a profit I could have made. However, it is advised that you steer clear of certain electronics. So you want to keep that in mind. Here's another item at Walmart that was a solar security light. And again, it shows a profit that could have been about $3.70. On June 28th, I was able to check off my second item from my list, thinking to myself, I'm humming right along. As I'm working every day and trying to complete the course at the same time, by July, I'm realizing you really have to put in the work. Put in enough hours a week, about 15 hours recommended, preferably on a daily basis so the info is fresh in your mind. The learning curve sucks in anything. Here, you're not making any money for at least the first 30 days. By this time in July, I'm seeing the benefits to joining EBS. As I mentioned before, I attended a cattle call in 2017, which I walked away from that one because I didn't like the atmosphere. However, this is finally the first time in 2023 after buying into EBS when it's starting to come together and make sense. There's plenty of information. The video lessons go step by step. More details are given during the weekly Zoom meetings. And questions are answered online via chat and by veteran coaches on the private Facebook group accessible upon paying into EBS. And actually, I think you can actually join the Facebook group without becoming a paid member, but they probably want you, obviously, to become a paid member before joining the Facebook group. Although completing the lessons of each module as you make your way through the course gives you a satisfying sense of accomplishment, it is not enough, because the main source of accomplishment that will only suffice is the act of earning money, putting all of this together. It's a step-by-step process, but you just feel you need to rush. And on the 4th of July, 2023, I completed the Local Shopping Profit System course. Having completed the course, I can describe it as a labyrinth. It is detailed, and I'm glad I took the course, because I'm not sure, even if I did join in 2017, they would have had a course that would have been as detailed as this course was with EBS. But now the course is behind me. I'm ready to earn money. All along while taking the course, I'm keeping abreast with what's being posted on Facebook. It's like looking into a party where you're watching everyone else have a great time. You try to tell yourself not to measure your progress by other people's accomplishment. In addition to the excitement your fellow members display posting their first packages, which they've sold, you're hearing these endless stories about these great success stories that are always on a grand scale. So-and-so raises their kids to do this. So-and-so moved to a foreign country and sells on Amazon as a living now. So-and-so retired her husband, who was an engineer, making over 6 figures, and now they both do FBA through EBS. And on and on and on. One problem I have with EBS is all the tales of grandeur. One person moved to another country. One person sold their business. Another person made thousands of dollars in their first 30 days. That's not going to happen, most likely, to you. Damn sure it didn't happen to me. On June 23rd, going back a bit, I was ready to make this full-time immediately. However, as I wrote in this email, I do not have the funds to drop another couple of $1,000s to upgrade right now. I would like to get some private coaching and pay one lesson at a time for now. What do you recommend? That was the email I sent to the advisor I had spoken with the very first time on the first Zoom call. Apparently, I wasn't the only person feeling no progression. As you can see in this Facebook post I saw on the 4th of July, I'll use just the first initial. K posts, "Hello, beautiful EBS community." That's very positive. I am so happy to share that today I've been through a great milestone of reaching $100,000 of sales in 10 months. Yay! Lots of work in there, but if I can do it, you can do it too. D writes back to K, "I would love to know possibly some of the products you find. I scan and scan. I do not seem to find products approved of or worth the sale, or I get the check mark, feeling discouraged." K replies to D, I've always been ordering online, not from local stores. Lead list may be a good option for you to start with, or hiring a virtual assistant with experience in sourcing. At EBS, there's amazing coaches to guide you with it. So, again, she drops a hint of what's worked for her. Ordering online. Once again, I'm going through the local shopping profit system, local shopping. So I'm not ordering online. I bought into the course where I have to physically go to the stores. Now, I don't know anything about the online arbitrage aspect of it. And she also recommends hiring a virtual assistant, which I haven't gotten to that level yet. I'm not at that point where I'm hiring a VA. I'm doing this on my own. Now, that's something to keep in mind. Now, remember, the full-blown course starts at $6,800. So it seems that she paid more than what I paid, the $997 for the local shopping profit system, and she's ordering online. So that's something to keep in mind. Continuing with the theme that I wanted to take a private lesson, I sent an email to the woman who gave me the welcome call, and I told her on June 29th in an email that I spoke with the closer on the previous Tuesday about how I'm eager to ramp up my progress in EBS. I've been on for over 30 days, which is surpassing the 30 days that the closer told me that I'd start making money, and just started scanning products, that is, scanning products at stores. Partly because it took Amazon a while to approve my account, now I'm looking for approval to sell products. For that reason, I informed the closer that I want private one-on-one lessons. He then scheduled an appointment for you and I on the upcoming 5th. I look forward to speaking with you again. Hopefully, you will have felt better since our first time was only an audio call when you were feeling under the weather. I'm looking forward to my first sale. So I'm still looking for that first sale. Later that night, I got a confirmation that she had received my email and she was looking forward to our conversation that would take place on the 5th, July 5th. So I got a few emails leading up to the hour of the call on the 5th, informing me an hour before your phone call is coming up in 1 hour, 10 minutes before your phone call is coming up in 10 minutes, on and on and on. And when the time came, I was online waiting for her call, but nothing came. So I called. I sent this email at 12:04 saying that I'm online. Sent another email at 12:40 with the title No Show. So now you can see that I'm feeling salty. I logged in and waited. Was looking forward to the meeting. I'm going on with the rest of my day. So I waited for her call. It was supposed to be at noon. No call came. It was a no show, no phone call, no Zoom call. To my surprise, about an hour later,
as I'm out and about, I got a phone call from the founder herself, Ann Sieg. And she told me that you have all the tools you need to succeed. And I asked her, what about the 30-day claim? And her response to that was, you can indeed make money within your first 30 days. And she went on and she said, keep scanning. And that's what she said. In the phone call, Anne did, of course, mention that the woman who was supposed to call me was not able to because something had come up. So after the phone call, where Anne explained the uh, the absence of the woman who was supposed to call me, and which is why Anne herself called me instead. She explained the reason. It was the woman's personal business. I won't get into that. But I sent her an email after the call when I got back, and I told her Anne just called me and explained that you're not feeling well, get well soon. So I at least sent her that email. And days later, on the following Saturday, on July 8th, every Saturday, EBS holds what they call Saturday Morning Live. You can look them up on YouTube and you'll see videos. And they'll have a guest and will interview them. It's usually Ann interviewing them, and they'll talk about their success on EBS. This Saturday, the woman we call Coach May, the woman who holds the weekly meetings for LSPS, was on Saturday. So all of us who take the weekly meetings were encouraged to be present on that particular Saturday morning. We're encouraged to take part every Saturday morning, but if we can't be live, the meetings are videotaped so we can catch them later on a recorded call, on a recorded video after the session. But this particular Saturday morning, I did take part and listen to Coach May, who is a great coach, by the way. And she goes through the Wednesday evening LSPS meetings for about an hour and a half. She goes through every detail that you'll encounter in local shopping profit system, and she has the patience of a saint. She is a really good coach, and she will answer everyone's questions. It is a group meeting, so there'll be at least five, usually more people in every meeting. But no matter how many questions there are, she'll do her best to answer each question in detail. So we were more than happy to support her on that Saturday morning. During that call, Anne had mentioned that following that call, there was going to be a 2-day seminar taking place. And she did encourage everyone to log in and take part in that 2-day seminar that was going to happen shortly after the Saturday morning live session on July 8th. It was a 2-day virtual workshop. St- I have to work on weekends. I work for myself, so I'm flexible as to whether or not I can take off on certain days. Weekends are very busy for me. However, since I had not made a sale and I was very interested in learning more and as much as I could about e-commerce, I figured, okay, well, here's this 2-day workshop. It's going to be all weekend, but let's hope it'll be worth it and it'll pay off. So I'm in the middle of this workshop and I'm taking notes and I'm learning a few things. Some things are new to me because it's going into some subjects pertaining to online arbitrage, which again, the level of arbitrage which I did not pay for. But I'm feeling good. I'm paying attention and I'm learning. Next thing I know, I get an email from Anne entitled A Little Boo Boo. And she goes on and says, there was a little or maybe a big mistake today. You had emailed requesting the link to join our 2-day workshop, and I emailed you the direct link. This workshop is only for the members who joined e-commerce acceleration, which is $6,800. It's a $6,800 program. You paid $997 for the local shopping profit system, which does not include the 2-day workshop. I apologize for my mistake. I should have looked up your membership status first. Okay, so considering what I had gone through, she then goes on to tell me in the email, I will need to have our Zoom administrator remove you from the call. This workshop is not directly applicable to the program you are in at this time, which made matters even worse as she went on to tell me, stick with the training you are in as we talked about earlier this week. Thank you for understanding, she said. Well, one thing I couldn't understand and something you want to keep in mind is I know I have a unique name, Edris, Edriss. But if it's in my email address, at least look up to my email address and don't misspell my name, especially when you're sending me bad news like this, that you're kicking me out of a workshop. That was a little bit insulting also. But a mistake is a mistake. It happens. Like I said, there are a lot of members in EBS. She's not going to keep track of every single person. Nevertheless, considering how I was feeling at this time, I was really pissed off, especially considering that I was going to take off the entire weekend to sit there and learn as much as I could, and then to have it yanked away from me in that email. I received an email on Monday, July 10th from the client manager apologizing again for missing the meeting, but informing me that she was willing to make up for it and wanted to know what would work best for me. I replied to her, "Thank you for following up with me," and called me instead. I hope you're feeling well and much better. During the phone conversation, Ann insisted that it was quote unquote not necessary for me to have an additional onboard call nor more coaching, and that I quote unquote already have enough information to succeed in local shopping profit system. It certainly does not feel that way. My experiences are resulting contrary to what is promised by EBS thus far. Quote unquote, start making money and let the money trickle in is not happening. Therefore, now that you've reached out to me now, despite Ann's insistence, I will take you up on your offer for another call. I can't understand how additional coaching from a member of the same system could be a deterrent in my stalled journey. Although I have at least a dozen questions, I will limit my questions to how can I get ungated? I paid $9.97, um, about the OA and VA, and I go on and end it by saying I do understand there's plenty of reasons for a student to doubt and get discouraged. However, I'm still here, scanning away as directed, attending every weekly LSPS Zoom meeting, 5 days away from my 60-day point, not having made a single cent. I look forward to speaking with you today at 2 o'clock. The client manager called, and she is someone else who, quote unquote, sold her company after joining EBS last November. She saw how much she could make and she sold her company to do EBS full time. Now she's actually working in EBS under the title of a client success manager. And to prove to me that she's completely bought into EBS, her one and only advice to me after all this tracking her down for this call was keep scanning. When you have an online course like EBS, by all means, you want to rave about your successes. And Anne will rave about a single mom who made apparently $5,000 in her first 30 days. However, when you watch and listen to the interview, the woman mentions the word scan once. She talks about online arbitrage and virtual assistants, and I'm not doubting her and her accomplishments, but something is missing. Obviously, she's not just using LSPS, but still, how was she able to make a sale, let alone $5,000 worth of sales, in just 30 days? All right, July 6th, Thursday, about 4:30 p.m., and I'm at the Woodfield Mall. I'm trying to do some sourcing and scanning. On July 6th, as you can see, I'm at the Woodfield Mall, and I'm using the tool that's on your cell phone that you use to help you determine whether or not you're going to make a profit on your products as you scan. And as you can see here, this particular product, I would have lost $1.42, 46 cents on this one. Now, this product, and again, you're scanning, you're just scanning everything you can just to get ungated. And at first, it showed that I needed to be approved. And then you see this other image with the blue stripe that advises you to try to apply to approve, but it still didn't work. Um, you're just told to just, when you see that, just try to request approval. And obviously, it's not always going to work. Again, here I would have lost $6.40 on this product. And again, it requires approval. All right, it's 5:45, an hour later. So here are some of the discoveries I've made. This is hella discouraging. On one hand, you pay at least $1,000, jump through the Amazon hoops to get approved, attend the weekly meeting with Coach May, who is incredibly helpful. You finish the course in a month or 6 weeks and do everything as instructed. On the other hand, absolutely nothing goes according to plan, and you haven't made a single cent toward your initial ROI of $1,000. I am banned from selling anything, whether it's profitable or not. One time I was approved, then suddenly banned from selling a product. I asked for additional coaching, and the CEO and herself insist that there's no need for additional coaching because, as a member of LSPS, you have everything you need. She talks about how she assigned her own son to help scanning to help alleviate her from the hassle of scanning, which is great. If you have a family member or somebody else to help you, by all means, let them help you. She invites you to a 2 day virtual seminar, then 2 hours after it starts, sends you an email misspelling your name, admitting that she's made a mistake of sending you the Zoom link, not realizing that you haven't purchased the quote unquote accelerated course. People are posting progress on Facebook page. However, one claims, quote unquote, always been ordering online, not from local stores, which my program, LSPS, does not cover because, as it's stated in the first two words, it covers local shopping. Yet in weekly Zoom calls, there are nothing but people who can't get past scanning, let alone selling and making a profit. There are many reasons to doubt the validity of this course. There's a tool that you use called AZ Insight. At first, I wasn't able to find it, but eventually I did. It is a Google Chrome extension, and it helps you see some details about every product on Amazon. And yes, they did cover it, but at first I wasn't able to find it. But eventually I did find it. This is my opinion, but I felt that the course lacked some instructions on steps of installing and logging into the asin.com website and then implementing the AZ Insight from the beginning. I feel that AZ Insight is a tool that could be described as going into a football game with the opposing team's playbook. During the weekly Zoom meeting held on Wednesday, July 12th, one member did say that she was selling products and she had sold, in her words, over 250 products. However, another member on the same day said that she's also still scanning. Saturday, July 15th, I'm going to Try scanning at Staples. Saturday, July 15th. I'm going to try scanning at Staples. Holy shit, I've been approved. The very first one I tried here.
So finally, I got this blue stripe that said, your selling application is approved. Congratulations, your selling application for a brand has been approved based on your performance history. So finally, I was able to break through to sell for this brand, which is Pentel. However, as you can see, I would have lost 35 cents, but at least I was able to break through the brand.
This is my second approved item.
Once again, I'm approved for Sharpie products. So that means that I can sell Sharpie brands as of July 15th. And on this one to the right, you can see I'm approved for the Sharpie brand for this permanent marker. However, I would have lost $5.19 on this pack. I would have lost $12 on this pack of Sharpies. And although I'm approved, I'm still scanning products that would have come to a loss had I tried to sell them. Another loss, this time at Staples for Papermate, but at least I was approved for Papermate. So now I'm approved for Sharpie and Papermate products. So due to the advice given to me by Coach May, she said to start with stationery products, things that you would find at a Staples or an Office Depot. Again, approved for Papermate, but I would have lost $12 on this one. Would have lost $15, a loss. I had a question about this one. This one is telling me to send in an application for this Avery products. EBS advises that you do not go through the process of sending in like a formal paper application, and simply to hit the button on the phone to apply. I was approved for this product, but this was a product where I would have received a loss. Approved, but a loss. Finally, some green, a green light. Approved for a whopping amount of a profit of 76 cents. I'm rich. So I bought 3 of these pastel crayons, and that would have come to a profit of $2.28. Still scanning, and finally I come to something where I bought 5 of these just to buy something that I was approved. Even though 5 of these would have garnished 85 cents, I bought them anyway just to see what it was like to actually buy something
that showed that I was approved to buy. So after everything is said and done, I was approved for these products. I spent $48.31, scanned 52 items, approved on 8 brands, bought 8 products, which would have garnished an estimated profit of $3.18. And actually, that profit would have come down to $3.13. So, progress, I'm thinking to myself, going right down the line of checking off yet another item where I purchased products from a local store on July 15th, 2023, 2 months after I bought into EBS for $1,000. I'm now able to purchase my first product. So I go on and scan at an Office Depot, and I had a question. This was a pack, actually, a pack of staplers. They came in. I can't remember how many was in one pack, maybe 7 or something like that. But or a pack of 20 actually. And if it comes in a case, you have to buy the case. So it's not as if you buy one and you would profit $38. You have to buy the case of 20 in order for it to be a profit. I saw this organizer here and I was able to profit $2.10, and this would have been an estimated profit. So I purchased this item and I purchased this calendar that said it would have been a profit of $12.87. So this time at Office Depot, I spent $20.81, scanned 14 items, was approved for 3 brands, bought 2 items, which would have garnished an estimated profit of $14.97. So at this point, with everything I've purchased, I would have gained $18.10 had I sold everything on Amazon. But I'm just purchasing right now. I go on to another store, a local store called Jewel Osco, and that's like a grocery store where I see the spatula, an estimated profit of $2.47. So I purchased it, as well as these notebooks, which would have come to a profit of actually $1.44. So I bought 5 of them. These 2 master locks for $4.19, and that would have been a profit of $8.38. And some rubber bands. Bought 5 of those. I was approved for this brand called Charles Leonard rubber bands. All said and done, including the stupid 7-cent bag charge, which we are charged here in Chicago if we use a plastic bag. I spent $34.60, scanned 36 items, was approved for 4 brands. I bought 4 products, which would have totaled a profit of $26.10. Hopefully, you're starting to see how this is going. At this point, with everything I've spent, I would have profited $44.20. Now, you're supposed to be charged a $40 fee from Amazon, and I was on the phone with them for over a half hour trying to get an answer as to when I was going to be charged the $40, be, just so I can know when the charge is going to kick in. They said that I'd be charged on July 6th, but as you can see on July 18th, I still have not been charged the $40 Amazon fee. A couple of notes on scanning. Um, I'm not even checking the selling trends on Scan Easy. Scan Easy is another tool that you're using on your phone to help determine how it will sell on Amazon. I didn't do that because I was so desperate just to get approved that that was my focus, just to get ungated. So I wanted to keep scanning as instructed so I could be ungated on more products, so I could be approved to sell more products. Let's look at how I did with the purchases I made. I'll quickly run through and explain the results. When you look at AZ Insight, the calendar that I purchased shows no sales, so I had to return the calendar. The organizer I purchased shows no sales, that had to be returned. The master locks shows that the top Zen graph of one of the master locks shows that Amazon as an orange line across the graph. And when I turn off the Amazon toggle switch, that line disappears. So actually that means that Amazon is a competitor, and BS has in the course has taught us that when Amazon is a competitor, you should not compete with Amazon. So I should not sell any products where Amazon is a competitor. The rubber bands, again, there's an orange line there, so Amazon is a competitor. And the little spatula says price under $10 will have low price FBA fee, $3.31. You'll save negative 77 cents. So the result of my spending spree was that everything had to be returned and my bottom line remains at zero. We as human beings, we have the need of wanting and needing to succeed after dropping $1,000 on the program. You start to feel there's something wrong when you don't get ungated, let alone when you don't even make a sale in 30 days. The misinformation for mix-ups with people in wrong classes happen to other people too in other meetings. I noticed. You should know if you buy into EBS that there's so many variables to consider to be successful in Amazon selling. First, right off the bat, getting approved by Amazon, number one. Then getting approved and ungated to even buy various brands. Then checking to see if your products even sell on the Scan Easy app that you use on your phone. These key steps make the experience of fulfillment by Amazon a scavenger hunt. The placement of your product listing and the process of time of shipping from yourself to UPS to Amazon and to the customer. During the Zoom meeting on July 26th, one member out of about 15 participants reported that she's been purchasing and selling products and she's fairly new. That's good for her. Also, though, I'm noticing less people from my initial meetings showing up to the Zoom meetings. Not sure if they're taking breaks or have dropped out completely. EBS has many features of what should result into a successful learning platform for anyone. An intensive internet course, a Facebook community with coaches, by the way, and the coaches are good at answering your questions within a timely manner. Videos in the course, and a website with resources and even a chat box to answer questions, although that chat box can be painfully slow at times. It'll even take days to answer some basic questions. However, none of that sums up success to a paying member, at least not of LSPS. The only measurement of success is going to be making money. One way to ensure success, in my opinion, is to track the member's progress with an assigned coach or even a tracker. However, I doubt that they would do that. EBS, that is. A, EBS could claim that we're not here to baby you and everybody must be in charge of their own progression. Fine. And B, we don't have the time nor the people power to assign a coach to everyone. And C, it would show exactly how many people would actually quit. On Monday, July 31st, I sent a text to the chat system saying that I never got an answer to my question that I asked last week. Am I an acceleration member? And if not, what is the label of my membership status? And she confirmed you are in the local shopping system program. When you pay for the use of AZ Insight, and yes, you do have to pay for this app on top of the $1,000 that you spend for EBS, you do, however, receive an EBS discount. Keep this in mind though. The discount only applies for the yearly amount, not for the monthly amount. There are two plans, a starter plan and an advanced plan. And the EBS discount only applies to the yearly advanced plan. I've blocked out the discount savings code, but when you enter the code, you'll get a message in red that says, "This code is valid, but your order doesn't meet the minimum amount." And if you're asking what is the minimum amount, the code is only valid for the annual AZ Insight Advanced plan. It is not valid for the monthly or the starter plan. So there's a difference between the annual amount of the starter plan at $59.95 and the annual price for the advanced plan at $149.95. The EBS savings code only applies to the annual advance plan of $149.95, bringing it down to $124.95 if you use the savings code in the advance annual plan. I've come to the realization that going into EBS has been not a loss, but a very bad investment for me. Now, I'm going to go wide instead of deep in learning about Amazon FBA. Going wide instead of deep is a term that is used in EBS when you're shopping for products. So instead of going deep and buying 100 of one products, 100 products of the same item, you should perhaps buy about 5 or 10 of different products. I'm not just putting all my efforts into EBS. I'm going to branch out to other different systems and teaching methods from other instructors. One of my fellow members in the Zoom meeting got her quote unquote first one. The one woman who joined the same day as me, I believe, and I believe it's a listed item, but not a sold item. And this is 1 week prior to my 90-day mark. For what it's worth, here's my suggestion for EBS. If EBS wants to claim that it's possible to earn money within your first 30 days, offer a challenge to all newcomers in LSPS. Whoever earns $1,000, which is $3 more than the buy-in price for LSPS, offer a cash prize of $1,000. Yeah, it's easy for me to say, but if they were to take a small portion of the number of new members that join, I'm sure they could present that offer in the near future without a single problem. Or they could simply stop stressing people can earn money in the first 30 days. I doubt they'd do that. Why would they? They've got your money. So let's go down the checklist for EBS. The Strength of Learning course, I give it a check. A Facebook community, yes, a check. Weekly group coaching, yes, pass. Personal assistance, I didn't experience it. I was told that I already had more than enough to succeed with LSPS. I would disagree with that, so I'm not going to give that a check. The validity. The 30-day claim is definitely a no for me. Not even in 90 days, so that's a no-go for me. I would push back on their 30-day claim. And here's an interesting question that I've received. Is EBS an MLM? When I try to describe this to people, I can't blame people for asking if it's a multi-level marketing scheme. And I can see why people would ask that, but I'm going to say no. The reason is because I've never been asked to recruit members into EBS, which is one of the telltale signs of an MLM. One way or another, I want to figure this out because this is indeed the space where I want to be, and I want to work online. However, considering the claim of start making money within the first 30 days, I thought this would help. It has not. I'm not going to promote this video nor my thoughts openly to any other members in the group that are in EBS, unless someone should happen to see this on their own and reach out and ask me directly. I will, however, reach out and send this review to Anne as well as to the recruiter who signed me up and made the initial claim of making money in their first 30 days. I'll also send it out to the client manager who I spoke with in the welcome aboard call, as well as the coach who holds the weekly meetings. I'll send it to them myself so that they don't have to hear about it from anyone else. Whether they care to do anything about it or even watch it is entirely up to them. I'm sure they'll have some comments about it. And one thing that I've noticed is that comments are made about people who give up and people who quit this program. Well, when you pay $1,000 and you don't get a return, it kind of makes sense. However, like I said before, I'm going to try other avenues to learning FBA, but I'm not going to stick mainly to EBS. I had every intention of continuing in the weekly Zoom meetings until I saw this reminder posted on the August 16th meeting. As part of your LSPS mentorship, you receive 3 months of weekly small group coaching sessions. Please be aware that after 3 months, you will be auto-billed $47 a month to continue your weekly group coaching session. Notify our customer care team if you wish to have your subscription canceled. So this on top of the $1,000 that you've already paid. Now, I've looked again, and to my knowledge, they don't tell you about this. Maybe that's why many of the same people that I saw when I first started taking these weekly Zoom meetings in May, those people are no longer in the Zoom meetings in August. And it's funny that this reminder showed up today because this is approximately right before the end of my 90 days. And I'd never seen this reminder on another Zoom meeting. It's the first time I saw this reminder. That would come to about $83 for 1.5 hours for Coach May. That's $1,000 divided into the 12 weeks. May deserves to be paid. She's a great coach, and I have no problem paying for a one-on-one session with Coach May. But on top of the $1,000 I've already paid, I'm going to think against continuing to pay another $47 a month. The next day, I made it a point to reach out to customer service and have my subscription canceled. And it took a little while, but it was finally canceled. I know this took some time, longer than I had wanted, but hopefully you can see that I wanted to be as detailed, as fair, and honest as I could be to provide a clear heads-up analysis as to what to expect if you buy into EBS. Do you really want to pay over $1,000 just to drive around your town, your state, country, or other countries just to scan? And there are people who do travel miles just to scan. They call that chasing. But in actuality, all you're doing is scanning products in stores if you buy into the local shopping profit system. There are people who are fine with that. Had I known, I wouldn't have invested all this money. Certainly not this much. Not just to scan endlessly with no results for months. Yes, I do think it's a great idea to take a course. There's a lot to learn, and I think it's a lot better than trying to pick up bits of information on multiple scattered YouTube videos out there. Some are valid, many are not. And there are other courses that charge much less. If you do talk to Ecom Business School and they drop that trickle in money within the first 30 days line on you, I would say push back. Question. Ask them, how is it possible? Now, don't just take it from me, but listen to a few people who said that they've been doing this for years. I'm going to play 2 quotes first. Listen at how long they project people start making money with FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon.
To raise some capital. The other question I often get is, how long does this business take to get up and running? Well, if you're just starting out, then it's typically 3 to 4 months from the day that you start until you receive that first sale, assuming you're doing this on the side of a full-time job or study or other commitments. The timeline would be shorter if you have more time available. Now,
the reason I chose 16 weeks is because it does take time to make your Amazon business work. So if you only do it for like 2-3 weeks or 2 months and you see, oh, it's not working, you're not getting any money back from Amazon, it's really easy to give up. But if you give yourself 4 to even 6 months, you can really build and snowball your profit. So here.
And I'm going to save the very last word for Greg Gottfried. He has a YouTube channel with dozens of videos that teach online procedures absolutely for free. He doesn't charge for any course. This is from his video talking about the 10 worst online businesses for beginners.
Number 9, this is Amazon FBA, or Fulfilled by Amazon. As a beginner in online business, I don't think this is the right move for you because it comes with quite a bit of risk. You have upfront investment, you have overhead costs, and a lot of hands-on moving parts. This again can sound really good coming from people who are doing it, but just know that this is a lot more hands-on than you imagine, and it's really not as passive as you'd think as you start to scale it up. All right, number 10